What's up, guys? Freedom Instigator coming at you live from my couch. Today I want to talk about something that a lot of people with a thyroid don't even know about, which is underlying issues that are causing your thyroid problem. So you may think that you just have this thyroid problem because your mom had it, or your grandma had it, or it just runs in your family, or you were born with it, right? Wrong. There always has to be something that triggers the disease. It can't just come out of nowhere for no reason. There has to be a trigger to trigger it, okay? And a lot of people don't really understand this, and they just think that their doctor told them they have this disease and now they're just doomed with it for the rest of their life and they have to take meds for the rest of their life. Well, that is not true. It has to have a trigger, and unfortunately, most doctors do not do the proper testing to get to the root cause of your thyroid issue. They just see that your TSH levels are low or high, and then they'll be like, oh, well, there it is, you have this disease, and now you have to take this thyroid medication for the rest of your life, instead of actually doing the proper testing, which insurance doesn't cover. I wonder why, because you're a better candidate for them if you're sick, right? So when you don't do the proper testing, you don't really know what's actually going on in your body. Like, there's no possible way to figure out what is going on. So that's why I always recommend to all my clients and all the girls that I talk to, I always recommend to go to a functional doctor or to get the proper testing. There's lots of companies out there that are doing it. Balanced Health is one of them. Everlywell is another one. There's so many things out there that are affordable, and you can get subscriptions to it, and there's just no excuses anymore to not do the proper testing for your body. So when I say proper testing, you're probably like, what do you mean? Like, what else is there to test for? There is a plethora of things to test for. If you're depleted in minerals or vitamins or things like that, or if you have an underlying virus going on like EB virus or some kind of gut virus or some kind of gut bacteria that could be literally causing you to trigger hypothyroidism. It's not just one size fits all, right? You're different, your body's different, everybody's body is different, and everybody's trigger could be different. My trigger personally was stress. Not just physical stress, but emotional stress. My cortisol levels were through the roof. That was my personal trigger. Another person's trigger could be their pregnancy and their hormones going out of whack. Another person's trigger could be that they got heavy metal poisoning. Another person's trigger could be mold exposure. I mean, these symptoms of these viruses and mold and heavy metals, they literally mimic the same symptoms as hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism for that matter. They mimic the same symptoms. So there's no possible way for your doctor to actually know what the root cause of and trigger of your disease is without doing the proper testing. I can't say this enough. And people are always like, well, my insurance doesn't cover it, so I'm just kind of screwed. And that's further from the truth, you guys. You're not screwed. You have to find a way to find the money, whether you put it on a credit card or borrow it from a friend or a family member. Like, you have to figure it out. Your health is all you have. And without your health, you have nothing. So you may be dealing with a mold issue that you may have been dealing with this since childhood, or the house that you grew up in had mold. It doesn't just go away. Mold poisoning just doesn't go away. You have to diligently fight it to remove the toxins in your body. Heavy metal poisoning, it doesn't just go away on its own. You have to do things to make it come out of your body. You have to detox, you have to do a bunch of things. So, but how are you supposed to know if that's your trigger if you're not doing the proper testing, right? You could have Lyme disease. I mean, Lyme disease is like an epidemic right now, and so is mold. Mold, you guys, if you're living in an environment that is a moldy environment, it will trigger something, and it will cause you to be sick. It has the same exact symptoms as a thyroid problem. Weight gain, brain fog, fatigue. It literally attacks everything. It attacks your thyroid, it attacks everything in your body, and it will trigger other things. So my advice to you would be to get your home tested for mold. If you suspect it, or if you smell mildew or anything like that, then you probably have a problem. Lyme disease and mold have the same exact symptoms, just like the EB virus. They have all the same symptoms, and they're actually treated the same way too. You also could have a root canal gone bad. I mean, you guys, root canals are like one of the biggest underlying cause of disease out there. If you have a root canal in your mouth right now that you had 10 years ago, I highly suggest you start doing your research on what that does to your whole body. Your oral health is so important when it comes to the function of your body and how it works. If you have mercury fillings in your mouth that are silver fillings, which aren't silver, they're full of mercury and poison, that could be triggering your disease. That could be the root cause of your whole entire disease and you don't even know. Because doctors aren't gonna do this shit. They're not gonna test for that. They're gonna literally laugh at you when you come to them and say that. What kind of doctor does that? What kind of healthcare system will do that? Do you know how many times I've been laughed at and then I go to my functional doctor and sure enough, that was the problem that I was thinking, that my other doctor, my traditional doctor, laughed at? So if you have root canals, mercury fillings, or you have done everything and you can't figure it out, or I suggest you look inside your mouth, look inside your home for mold, get tested for mold, get tested for Lyme, get tested for get your gut tested for bacterias and parasites. You don't even know. Like, this shit happens in our country. It happens all the time. I got heavy metal poisoning with cadmium. I didn't even know what cadmium was, you guys. I just thought of like lead and nickel and mercury, but cadmium, I had no idea what that was. Which, by the way, cadmium comes from pesticides that are sprayed all over our food. Yes, our food. Or that like fashion jewelry that all of us girls love to wear, right? That has cadmium. It's literally made out of cadmium. I got mold poisoning. I don't even know where this came from, the mold. It could have been the house I grew up in my whole life. It could have been from a rental property that I rented. Who knows? What matters is that I got tested for everything. I spent the money. I did it so that I was able to see what's actually going on in my body. The testing that you should be doing, it's like a blueprint for what's going on in your body. It's how we know. I mean, science today is so beautiful and miraculous. Like, let's use it. So if you've done everything and you can think of trying to fix your thyroid problem and nothing is working, I highly suggest that you get tested for more than just that one thyroid test, or even those 3 thyroid tests, your T3, T4, and TSH. Like, that is great, but virtually everybody in the population fits into their normal range of that. We're not trying to be in normal range, we're trying to be in optimal range. And unfortunately, our healthcare system is very flawed and insurance doesn't cover these things. But there's a few companies that you guys can look at. One of them that I use is called Balanced Health. They have a monthly subscription that you could do if you're strapped for cash. There's also Everlywell. I heard that's a good one. I haven't used it personally, but I heard that's a great one too. Or you can go to a functional doctor and get the proper testing that you need on your body. So if you like this video, if it served you well at all, please subscribe, like, and share. Thanks for watching.